Hi there, welcome back to Corrie Papercrafts. It's Karen here, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in central Scotland. I thought I would share with you another quick project that I made using one of our celebration stamp sets. It's just big enough to hold a tea bag and a little biscuit. These Biscoff biscuits are amongst my favourites, if not my absolute favourite. And I've decided to call it my tiny tea bag treat box because it is really small, but it's quick and easy to make, and we're now into really the last couple of days of celebration for this year. And I wanted to share another couple of projects rather before that comes to an end. So this was made using the Rise and Shine stamp set. It's a photopolymer stamp set and it's available free with a £90 spend. And what I like about this is these stamps here are all just one stamp, but it's reversible, so you can stamp your mug one way, turn the stamp round, then stamp your mug in the opposite direction, which is great because then you get a mug with the handle on the right hand side and a mug with the handle on the left hand side, so that you can match them up for your project. And I cut them out using the Cup of Cheer dies. These have been carried over from our Christmas catalogue from the end of last year, so there are quite a few festive dies in here as well. But again, you've got the dies with the mugs facing either way, so we're going to use both of those, and I'm actually just going to take those out just now. The little bow is quite generic, the tags are quite generic as well, even this stripy cover for your mug. Now I did, I'm just trying to find one that I just had a little go with earlier and cut that out. I don't know if you can see that. Let me just put it against a piece of card. I think that's really pretty, and it just goes on top of your mug to add a little bit of pattern on the top, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to stamp. That's all I'm going to do. So I'm going to show you what you need to make it first of all, which isn't very much at all. Now this box inside here, I made using our thick Whisper White card, and I've used that for the little mugs just to give the handles a little bit of extra strength. But I wondered if there was just a little bit too much white showing. I'm not sure. So this time round I thought I would do it in Daffodil Delight just to see if it looks any different. This might put too much yellow in it, but I'm going to have a go, and then I'll see which I prefer, and you can maybe let me know as well. So the piece of cardstock that we need to make the box measures 4 inches by 2.5, and you'll need a scrap piece of thick Whisper White just to stamp your little mugs on. And we're also going to use the Daffodil Delight 1/4 inch ruched ribbon as well, just to pop on the top there. So I'm going to do the scoring first of all, so let's just move the dice to the side, bring in my scoreboard, and again apologise for the glare from my lamp, but I'll be as quick as I can doing the scoring. So on the short side to begin with, on the 2.5 inch side, we're going to score at 1/2 inch on both sides. And then on the long side we're going to score at 1 3/4 and at 2 1/4, and that's all the scoring done. So we can get the scoreboard straight back out of the way, and then I'm just going to fold and burnish on these score lines very quickly. Burnish on that side. There we go. And not a lot of cutting involved either. We're really just going to cut into these little squares on either side here, because these are the tabs that are going on the inside of the box, and I'm just going to cut up either side of the score line, leaving it on the tab in the middle as usual, and just take a little notch out of either side of that square. Same again on the other side. Don't need to notch it much at all. There we go. And just so that it's not loose on the inside of my box, I'm just going to add a tiny little bit of tearing tape onto both tabs just to help hold them down, no other reason. So a little bit there and a little bit on there, and then just on one side of the box, I think I'll make that the back. So on the side that's going to be my front edge of my box, keeping all the seams to the back, I'm just going to add a little bit of tearing tape near the straight edge, just like that, for joining the box together. And then I'm just going to take these little bits off here first of all, and not against the side that I've already put the tape on, but on the other side I'm just going to join the flaps to the side of the box like so. Just give them a little press down to make sure they're stuck, and then take the backing off of these parts too, and just bring them up, and making sure that this straight edge goes in against this fold here and that the top edges match up. I'm just going to join those edges together like so. There we are, and that's my box made. So I'm just going to give that a little bit of a press with my paper folder. I'm going to keep the seam at the back, so that's the front of my box when I come to put it all together. So I'm going to do my stamping now. So I need my Whisper White card, and I've already got my stamps all mounted. So these are the stamps that we're going to use, and I'm going to stamp my mug in Daffodil Delight, and I challenged myself to use Cajun Craze, which is not a colour I've used very much at all, and I thought it actually matched really quite well with the Daffodil Delight, but also, although that's quite red on my biscuit, it's quite a deep red, and I thought the Cajun Craze matched the colouring on the tea bag or the tea bag envelope as well. So I decided to have a go with the Cajun Craze, and I think it worked quite well, so I'm glad to have used it. I think all the colours that Stampin' Up do, I've probably used all of them at some point, but Cajun Craze I really haven't used up until now, so I'm going to use it today. So I'm just going to stamp two mugs, but one facing one way and one facing the other. Sorry if you can't see that. And I'm just going to give if I didn't have so much junk on top of my stamping scrub, give that a quick clean. Sorry if that's moving the camera. And then peel that off, and because it's photopolymer, rather than just stick it straight back down onto the block, I just want to let it relax a little bit. Turn it round though, Karen. And obviously I'm going to stamp it that way. So again, ink it up and give it a good press down to make sure that the colour has transferred, and there you are, that's my two mugs stamped. I'm quite pleased with that. So I can put my Daffodil Delight away before I put my hand in it, and then I'm going to try and line these up as best I can, because I've not got my head right over my project, but I'll try and line these up as best I can around that little circle in the middle. That's not bad, it could have been better, but it's not bad. And the same with this one. Sorry if I have just put my head under the camera. There we are, that's slightly better. And then I'm going to pop my Rise and Shine just in the middle. I'm hoping that's straight. Probably could have been down a little bit, so we'll make that the one that's going to the back. There we are, that's much better, happier with that. So that will be the one that goes to the front. So I'll get rid of my Cajun Craze ink as well. And I'll bring in my die cutting machine. Now, my lovely hubby actually treated me to the Big Shot fold away, which is just lovely. I don't know if you can see it all in the camera, but these sides fold out like this, so this is going to be much easier for taking to my workshops, certainly lighter and easier to carry. So I'll just pop in my magnetic plate and my base cutting plate, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to cut both of these out at the same time. I'm hoping that that's lined up straight, and the same with this one here, and I hope that the magnetic plate doesn't mess about, and it is a little bit. I'm hoping I've got that straight, but we'll see when it comes out the other side. So just carefully put the other cutting plate on top. Can't get it to go all the way through, so I'll just put it through the machine and bring it back again so that I'm not putting any pressure on the extra bit of the plate that's hanging out, and try not to shuggle the camera too much as we go. So let's pull all that off of there, get rid of the plates, and just pop this out of the way for now as well, and let's see what we've got. So that's not ideal, but that's going to the back anyway because it didn't stamp so well. This one for the front is a little bit more successful, so I'm happy with that. So before I do anything else, I'm just going to pop these dies back where they should be. There we are. And all I need to do is, I find it easier to put my biscuit and my tea bag in before I stuck the little mugs on the front. So because it's so tiny toty, I did have to fold the edges of my tea bag over, unfortunately. But with Brodie's having a short name, you can still see the name at the front of the envelope. So just making sure I've got my seams at the back, pop my tea bag in and pop my biscuit in just in front. This one's actually sticking out a little bit more. I'm not sure why that is. I think I've taken them from two different boxes of their tea bags, and actually I think they've changed the size of them. That's interesting, because that's definitely in as far as it'll go, but that's a much better size, so I'm really pleased with that. Imagine the things that you discover during the course of crafting. So I just made it easier for myself to stick the mugs on, and just added glue to that front panel of the box rather than on the mug, and then I just laid that on roughly where I thought it should go, and then stood it up against my grid paper because I don't want it to overlap at the bottom, because I want that mug, I want the whole box rather to be able to stand up, and then just gave that a bit of a rub. That looks okay, and the same again on the back. There we go. And I just laid that on roughly where it should go, and just stood it up and held it in place for a minute or two whilst holding it down on my grid paper, and I'm happy with that. There we are. So all I need to do now is make a little bow with my ribbon. So really easy. Maybe not quite as big a loop as that, Karen. There we are. Probably could have started that further over and not wasted as much ribbon, but never mind. That looks about right. I'll just pull this little ear down a little bit, I think. I don't want the bow too big, and I just want to grab my ribbon scissors and snip there and snip about there, and that should fit on there. Yep, just take that down a wee bit. There we go. And I'm going to grab my glue dots, which are in this box beside me, but of course I've piled, as you can hear, I've piled my packet of biscuits on top of it. So here we go. I'm just going to, oops, don't need that glue dot that's folded in half, that was just demonstrating what way am I going to, I think I prefer my bow that way, so I'm just going to stick that on to the glue dot, pick that off, and have another glue dot stuck to my thumb obviously, and just pop that on the top, just there. And that's it. That's my little tea bag treat boxes. I think I do prefer the Daffodil Delight box, so you can still see that there is some white to break up the colour, whereas here I just think there is too much white. So I definitely prefer this box. I much prefer the Daffodil Delight, and I much prefer the smaller tea bag. So that was an interesting find. I'll just go away and drink that one now. So thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you managed to make some yourself if it's something that you fancy doing, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Bye bye.